Yes, looks like we are live once again.
So, shall we share a link? Is there something we can share with people?
Now this time, it should be the working one. Hello, why can't we be friends? Amazing username.
Oh, yeah,
Hello again.
That's my boyfriend, actually.
Oh, perfect.
He's waiting for us.
Now I'm sharing the link.
At least he loves love.
No, I can't find my cell phone.
This should work. This one we should be able to share. There is a weird thumbnail. We don't know why. Hello, everyone. Hello, hi.
So I'll do a quick story.
Please check the link before you click and share.
I just had it and it seemed to work.
Apologies again, because we have to juggle two things at once, starting the stream and communicating the stream again. So unfortunately, our viewers will not be able to see you all at once. It will be fixed on the speaker view. So this is something to keep in mind, but at least arguably the important thing, the canvas is working and the stream flow is uninterrupted, unbuffered right now.
So I will sort of, has everybody done his own post or shall I link everybody?
I'm waiting for yours.
Okay, I thought
so. Just on your page, refreshing.
I thought I'd ask.
yeah. No, I leave it to the social media pros.
I'm not a social media pro.
No.
Okay, so this is us.
You barely have 1.8 thousand posts.
Yeah, but I don't know what I'm doing, really. It's just do stuff. So,
whatever you're doing it pretty good. So it works.
I propagate chaos. So
What you call chaos, it's kind of like what people like us, it's order.
Chaos can be the normal. Okay, so we already have half of our original audience with us here today. So now I will do a faster version of my first introduction, and then we can directly jump into your drawing. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of time, so it will be a little bit over time for you. Apologies for that. Apologies to everyone, actually, for starting this late. But yes, we are here with our chat and draw, which has been riddled with technical issues so far, but thankfully, it looks like we have resolved all of them. Thank you, YouTube, for being a little bit problematic, but then playing nice with us. We highly encourage everyone to draw with us, to draw with the Sunday Sketching Collective, with Olga, Jenny, Irina, and Simone. We are Wacom. Thank you for being here. You know who we are. For those of you who don't know, if you need to do something with your computer, that is a little bit more complicated, or at least you need something more intuitive than your mouse or keyboard, you need a pen and you need a Wacom device. So that's what we are doing for some 40 odd years. And on our e-store, if you check e-store.wacom.com, you will see we have some amazing software offers with all of our products. Especially do check out our new software offers with our Pro product families. And also we have an ongoing promotions for our refurbished and bundled products. That's enough of me. Let's get back to our original plan with Sunday Sketching crew, with the team doodling away. And now I hand it over to you. Let's start with the short introductions. Again, one last time, let's start with Olga.
Can somebody else start?
Okay, let's start with Jenny.
Okay, Jenny will start.
Okay, hi. I'm Jenny van der Osten, also known as Contrexia, maybe to find Contrexia on Instagram. I'm a freelance illustrator from Hamburg, Germany. And right now I'm spending most of my days looking after my children since they're not going to kindergarten. But if I have time, I am working on personal stuff, on game stuff and all kind of stuff, everything art related, a lot of personal work right now. Yeah, and I'm really excited that this is working finally.
Yay!
Who's next?
Olga is also there.
Yay!
Yeah, because my cat just right now decided to bite the cable of my webcam.
That's the best timing ever.
But it is working. So I'm Olga, and I'm a fresh cat mom, as you can hear from all the trouble happening around here. And when I don't cat sit, I'm doing art. I work as a story artist and character artist, mostly for animation and games. And I do a lot of my personal projects, which are just too many to ever finish. And I'm getting confused all the time what I'm actually doing. Nice to see you here after such a delay.
So I will go on. I'm Simone Grünewald, also known as Schmö Draws. I'm also a digital artist. I'm just going for digital artist because I always do so much stuff that I never know how to introduce myself. But I draw a lot of my son. I do lots of personal work. I do client work where I draw costume designs. I do storyboard, blah-de-blah, so much stuff. And yes, I'm very happy to be here now. And finally, and yes, I just want to draw with you guys. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so I'm Irina. I'm also from Hamburg, like all of us. I'm a freelance illustrator for about 9 years now, and I'm mostly working for book illustration, sometimes video games, stuff like that, comics. And yeah, welcome to our little casual drawing session. I hope we have it all figured out now and we can finally start with only 1 hour delay, so whatever.
Nothing breaks the ice like a technical issues, right?
Yeah, I almost forgot what we are actually doing here, but it's okay.
So yeah, before the session started, in its original time, we were talking a lot about how we have been dealing with the pandemic, to being at home all the time after a full whole year, and how it affects creativity. Let's talk about it again in more detail, maybe. How are you all dealing with that? Has it been good for your creativity and for your personal projects and client work? Has it been difficult or struggling?
You go.
Okay, well, actually, I'm struggling a lot with it right now because what I missed most over the course of my life hasn't changed that much, I guess. But what I really miss is like our weekly Sunday sketching sessions, where we actually meet each other in real life, and we haven't done this in like a year, basically, more or less. And I feel like there's a constant lack of like input and inspiration and things you usually experience or mutual exchange with other artists. And that's something I really struggle with, because I often yeah, often feel like kind of having an art block. And I think it all comes down to this whole pandemic feeling we are all going through like for a year now.
Yeah, I really miss that as well. I feel like the worst part is that you sort of think basically nothing really changed, but why do I feel so crappy? I always jump between that feeling. So and you can, and then I'm judging myself for feeling crappy, which is also bad. For me, I think I actually found a lot of time to draw a lot for myself because I found a new technique which I really liked, and that kind of inspired me to draw more, because I feel like that when you're in an art block, it's often very helpful when you just try something a bit different than the usual you've been doing, and then it can really sort of make you want to art. So I was lucky in that way that I sort of found something which I was really passionate about, and that set me off on a completely new stream. And since my client work wasn't that possible as much because I've my child at home at the moment, which is kind of nice having the child at home, but then again, it's also, you feel like you've set up your whole work life, and now I have to rethink everything because I just can't work. So I was drawing more in the evening as a to balance it out that I couldn't work properly. I could be actually doing lots of client work at the moment. I have more than I could do because I just don't have the time at the moment. That's a bit frustrating as well. I have jobs, but I can't do them because it's just too much. So that's where I'm getting a bit frustrated. And I'm also afraid that my job givers will say, well, come on, we'll replace you with somebody who doesn't have a kid, who can draw when we need you to. So that's my scare for the pandemic. And yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty hard.
Yeah. I don't, and it's also really hard for me to schedule. It's like I get a job and then I have to think, how much time do I really have? Because I always still think in terms of, okay, my standard times, but then again, it's how attractive am I when I can say, yeah, well, I can maybe do an hour a week. And it's like, what? Because I don't want to work in the evenings, because then I'll be working 24/7. That would be like having a kid all day and then working on top of that. That might seem doable, but that's only doable for a couple of weeks, because that's what I did at the beginning. I did work and have the kid then, and I just gave it up and said, nope, I can't do that.
Yeah, I don't have a kid, but I feel that I don't have any time for anything still. So I don't know how you have any time for anything with a kid. I feel like it's super weird, because for me also not much changed since the pandemic, because I was working from home and I continued to work from home. But for some reason, I noticed that it feels like I have less and less energy, like every month this whole thing is going on. I think it's probably because there is not much else that we are doing right now, like all of us. We're just at home, and even if it's like nothing is terrible at home, I love being at home. I always loved it, and now I don't know, I love having my boyfriend around, and now I have my cute cats around and everything. And it's not that I think like, I don't want to be here anymore, but still for some reason, probably just because it's the same setting all the time, it's kind of weird to have motivation to do stuff for me.
I'm actually afraid.
Stuff. Like sometimes I want to do things, but I'm like, and I start drawing and I'm like super slow, and I feel like, really? Has it always been like this? Have I forgotten how to do art?
I'm actually really scared of things going back to normal. It feels like I wouldn't be able to cope with all the things I used to do. When I think about how much I used to do before the pandemic, I'm like, how did I manage? I barely manage to brush my teeth in the morning at the moment. It's weird, because we've got lots of time, but then again,
do we though?
Yeah, like I feel like when I was doing more stuff, I had more energy to do all of this
Yes.
stuff. Like it was not
Yes.
more time, but I had more power, kind of.
Yeah, totally. I think, and that's the main thing, really.
Sorry, Jenny, I didn't mean to.
No worries.
Do you have any specific, in this time, have you came up with strategies to find that energy, to get that motivation going? Maybe, I don't know, any strategies, any tactics that you have developed in this time?
Well, it's a bit of what I said at the beginning, really, that when you don't really know, if the energy, you have to find yourself, you have to energize yourself something. So find something what you're passionate about. I think that helps. Like really, I started looking at art books a lot. I sort of had an evening just yesterday where I sort of sat on the couch and surrounded myself with my favorite art books and leafed through them. And I was so happy doing this. And that kind of gave me energy again to draw. It doesn't always work, but I think there's lots of things like that, like watching your favorite movies again. I mean, how often can you do that? But still, there is lots of things like that which get me back. I often find just there's a balance with seeing great art and wanting to draw that, and then seeing lots of great art and thinking, I don't have the energy to draw all this art.
Yeah. I want to draw so much art, but I can't.
I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
But I think because I was really, the other day when I was doing that, I felt good, but then the next day I felt bad and I didn't feel like I had any energy for anything. I was sitting on the sofa and I was just sitting there doing nothing, and I was feeling really, really odd because I don't have that often. But I then let myself just do nothing and try to really listen to what I needed. And so I took a bath, I listened to music, and I feel like that, just sort of letting myself be nice to myself in the evening, gave me energy today when I just sort of sat at my desk and I was like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. I feel like that, just listening to myself and listening to music, listening to this, like being in a moment and really concentrating on that, because I feel like we often do tons of stuff at once and never really yet pay attention. I feel like that, and that really helped me. So like just listening to music I'd forgotten I'd really liked helped me immensely yesterday.
That's a good thing, and it sometimes works for me too, to just like realize that, okay, apparently I need a break right now, so now I'm taking a break. But sometimes it doesn't help. I feel like during this year I have realized that I thought I have like some methods how to get productive again, but sometimes they just work and sometimes they just don't, and it's so random right now. I feel like it has become more random during this year, so you have to try something else every time it happens. What helped me in the recent kind of art blocky thing I'm feeling is that there is a project that me and Jenny actually are working on together, and we are also like, we are working on it very slowly because we all have no energy, but at the same time I feel kind of like, okay, this thing needs to happen because I really want it to be finished, and even if I don't want to draw right now, I will just draw something for it, so it's just slowly happening, you know. And it was easier for me to motivate myself for this thing because it's something I'm working with another person on it. There are more people involved who are interested in it being done. Like it's not a job that I'm paid for, so the motivation is not money, but that I care about the project, and that other people seem to care about the project. So it kind of helped me a little bit to give myself a kick in the ass to actually work on it, even if I had no energy and no motivation. So that helped.
Definitely. Yeah, I was about to say that too. Like basically that project kind of saved me too. Like that got me out of that huge art block. I remember that Simone and me were talking about my super art block, and then Simone gifted me the sketchbook that I used to sketch in before, like the same kind of brand. because I really loved that. And I had a new sketchbook and it just got water damaged. It was super horrible and I hated the paper and everything was super bad. And then I got my favorite sketchbook and started sketching in it. And then everything got better. And then you came around with the project and now everything's going back to being productive, kind of, after months and months not doing stuff.
So the trick is, whenever you are having an art block, we are gifting you a sketchbook of your favorite kind to get you out.
That kind of works, apparently.
Sketchbooks really do work because you sort of sit in front of it, and when you look at it, it's like a promise of beautiful art to come.
Yeah.
It's like you can already envision stuff, and then you get like tingly feelings in your hands, and you think, oh, I could try this technique. I could try this technique. What can I do? I want to try my new gouache or whatever. It's like this medium, these choices and options, they're really good for stuff like that. So I always feel better when drawing my sketchbook. I think that's even more than digitally. Then it gets your creative juices flowing quicker, I feel, than digitally. Even though I love working digitally, don't get me wrong. It's just traditional work has a soothing quality to it, and I think that we need that as well at the moment a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes just feeling the paper of a new sketchbook, because it's something like new and exciting. It's sometimes it just triggers you like just the wish to draw something, and it just calls to you and says, draw on me.
Yes.
Yes, because the computer screen also calls you to do other things like scroll Facebook mindlessly. and the sketchbook doesn't do that. So it's just like, it's a little bit of magic.
But in general, this is also what we are basically encouraging our community, and we hear a lot from our community. It may not be the best idea to stick to one medium forever, because each can have different inspirational impact on how you work. Like working on traditional pen and paper, definitely what we hear from our community definitely improves or inspires them to work or bring it back to digital and finish it, or vice versa. So,
yes, totally. Which I really love doing is just like sketching in my sketchbook, but then scanning it and working digitally on top, which is like, because then you get the best of both worlds. You can edit everything and play around, but you still got this graininess which comes from the traditional art, and I really like. I mean that it's a question of style, really, but I do really like that. And also, I feel like when you learn traditional styles, like in gouache, you feel like you can translate these working techniques also into digital art. You have a more profound understanding of what you're actually doing, and also why you're doing it, and sort of like laying down the base of everything. So I feel that that's really helpful.
And I feel like sometimes it's also a good method to separate like work art and art you do for yourself, because sometimes, especially when I have a big client project where I have to do a lot of stuff, for example, in Photoshop, I just got so tired of it. I don't want to see it anymore at some point. So I would like either not draw at all except for work at those times, or just changing the medium helps me to make a separation. Like, this is something I'm doing for myself right now, and this is not my job. And then when I'm not that tired of digital work anymore, I can go back to it. So it helps. And even like trying different software on the computer, like it also helps sometimes, just switching between Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint, for example, just to have something different and different tools to motivate myself again. That helps a lot.
You really liked Clip Studio, didn't you? You've been really working a lot on that lately. Do you think it's better than Photoshop?
Like, it has so many options I wished Photoshop had. Like, I miss some of my Photoshop favorites, like Liquify. Like, Photoshop's Liquify is so powerful, and Clip Studio doesn't have it. But Clip Studio has so many other smart things that I wish Photoshop had. So the problem is, like, there is no one perfect art program. Like, so each one of them has something I really love, and I wish I could like pick and combine all those features into one perfect program.
Yeah,
that's true.
I really want to leave Photoshop, but I'm so fast in it. I'm so fast in that working that way, because that's like the main, like on the Cintiq with Photoshop, that's like the base setup I've always worked in. But I would like to sort of get better and quicker in other programs as well. So I should maybe try that as well, just for fun at the beginning, to maybe get comfortable in there.
It's not too far off. Like I didn't feel super alienated when I tried it. I just, after Olga recommending it like a gazillion times, I actually bought a version, and it's pretty intuitive if you come from Photoshop, I think. Like,
okay,
it changed a lot over the years, I think, and now it's usable. Like I didn't have that wall you sometimes have when you're using a new software, that you have the feeling like you never used a computer before. Like I didn't have that with Clip Studio at all. Like it's very intuitive, and it feels like it's made for artists, actually.
Yeah, I have a really old version of Clip Studio, like from I think 2013. I bought it and I haven't updated it ever since. I think I just have to update it, and then I will be able to use it again.
Probably. Like I remember I tried it at some point and it was horrible, and I was just like, "Yep, this is shit."
Oh, back then it already had some really good tools, like the
line
thickness.
stabilization.
Yeah, and the thickness of the lines, you can actually change it after you've drawn them, and this was really useful for some projects I had. But I think there are a lot of more useful tools now.
And
yeah, like it has
switching
from all art programs I have ever used, it has the best flat filling capabilities. Like when you have clean line art and want to just fill in flat colors, no other program is faster and more precise than Clip Studio at doing this. I don't know what kind of black magic they are using, but it's really good. And then you can just lock the layers of transparency and paint on top and make everything like pretty and painterly. But just for like the color flats, it's super fast.
It's good to know, actually.
So I'm checking our viewers and their comments at the same time. We have had, in terms of the art blog, Anna recommended physical activity, cliche as it sounds, but cliches are cliches for a reason. So that's absolutely something that works even for people who are not working in a creative area like me, to taking a walk even.
I must say, from my personal experience, I have the best ideas when I'm
walking.
Like it's when my body is moving, but my brain is kind of free to do stuff. I have the best ideas what to do. The only problem is that then I have to, when I come back home, I have to actually execute those ideas. That's the next problem. But yeah, it actually really helps.
I'm the same. It's like when walking and just sort of going somewhere for a long distance, I feel like I think that's something which is built into humans, because we were like sort of, okay, this is the time where the brain doesn't have to do anything but function on one level, so we can concentrate on another and feel really focused. It's the best when you get that feeling of everything's so clear.
Also, what I think what kind of plays a little bit into this, but it's a little bit different, but I feel like when I'm doing some sort of gardening or just repotting my plants and stuff or watering them, I also get a little bit into this Zen feeling where I can think well about other topics. So it's also a little bit of something that you do with your body, but not as intense as like exercise or something.
Yeah, I actually
very meditative.
I actually have the same feeling when I'm cleaning my flat. That's very useful, actually.
Wow, I'm jealous.
I'm too.
Oh man,
super relaxing.
I wish I had that.
Yeah, me too. Like cleaning is like my anti-mojo.
I clean the kitchen when I'm angry. Like,
that also works.
I don't know why, but it's it's
also
like
doing the dishes.
Cool, but
yeah.
Nothing beats angry cleaning.
Yeah.
but I must admit, as much as I hate starting to clean, when you're doing it, it feels so satisfying. And when you've got a job well done, then actually doing something productive is so much, because then you're like, you've really earned it. Now you can just sort of take your time to do something you really like love. And I think a lot of the problem during the pandemic is that we're sort of just pushing away tasks. I don't know, it's like jumping from one thing to the other, not doing anything properly because you can't feel, I don't know, I feel it really hard to actually doing anything. There's a saying of, give somebody who's got lots to do the task so he can get everything done, because you'll get it quicker done than the other, and because you're so much better organized. But I feel like I'm sort of decomposing, no, just sort of getting blobby in my head, so it's like, and not doing much, but still being so unable to do anything with it.
Yeah, I think in general, cleaning or tidying up has a healing aspect in it, whether it's your room, whether it's your computer desktop folders or something like that. Because to me, and I hear it from other people as well, it kind of gives you the perspective that, okay, I still have control over things and have control to fix them, to make them work again. And it in a sense gives you power to move into new challenges.
That's so cool and so true.
So we have some more questions. I hope you're fine that I'm throwing them at your way.
Yeah, of course.
That's my idea, right?
This one is directly aimed at Simone. Why do you want to leave Photoshop? And any of you has experience with the Affinity software? This is also a follow-up question for all of you.
I want to leave Photoshop because it annoys the hell out of me at the moment. I feel like I had a old Photoshop version and that worked perfectly. And now I'm in this, because I had a really old computer, no internet and everything. It was like, I was working on that and I was happy and everything. And then I changed it to the new Photoshop, which is a monster of functions, and it's super slow, and it might be my computer. But I feel I've been getting a lot of feedback of other artists that they're so annoyed with Photoshop at the moment. There's like flickering going on and stuff, which is it's a very overloaded program. It can do everything, but in that, I don't know, it might be me. It might be my technical inexperience, but I've been really trying a lot of things to get it work better, and it just doesn't work properly. I feel
Photoshop is the only program that with every update has a new problem with Wacom tablets for some reason. I don't know what they are doing and why they hate them so much. You know it, Onua? Do you have
hate? No, we love
like
each
all
other.
other software works perfectly fine, but with each Photoshop update, you're like praying that it will work.
No, actually, we get on really well. We like each other a lot.
You have to say that.
Follow-up question, next question, which is not really a question, but I think I can turn it into one. So when we were talking about sketchbooks, Sue also mentioned that watching tutorials by artists, your favorite YouTube artists, and this is how I will try to stretch this into a question. During the pandemic, we have seen a huge boom in creative fields. A lot of people have picked up digital drawing, illustration, any kind of new creative activities, and obviously the next question that follows that we receive from them is what I should do to get better at it. How can I be better at drawing, to designing, to coloring, etc., etc. So besides the core fundamental fact of you have to be very bad at something in order to be good at that thing, what would be your recommendations in people starting new, picking up the digital pen for the first time?
Who wants to start? I started already. Well,
loaded question.
I think what's good about the internet age we are living in right now is that there is really so many tutorials available online, and I would really recommend, like, everyone has some favorite artists who they are looking up to, and I would just go through their streams on Instagram or Twitter or wherever they are active and see if they have uploaded any like kind of bits of information on their workflow and so on, because many people do that. Like even if they don't do full-blown tutorials and so on, they sometimes do like little snippets of knowledge. And I think it's like the most interesting way is to learn from somebody who you admire. Like if you like the style of somebody, I'm always trying to figure out, oh, how are they doing that? So I'm trying to analyze their artwork, but also looking for any type of video they uploaded that shows how they work, or any type of explanation they posted. And I think this really helps to learn to draw, because you also learn to analyze the style of your favorite artists, and it also helps you develop your taste a little bit.
I would like to add something to that. I totally agree. And I love doing that as well. But I feel like sometimes when you look at a lot of different artists' advice, which is a great thing, I think you really have to keep in mind that there is no right way of drawing. There is no, this is the way to draw, because every artist's journey is personal and a way of a problem solution to their own way of drawing. And I feel like I sometimes have the voices of artists in my head where I heard like, okay, you should never practice only for practice sake. You should have a goal, like draw 100 cards or whatever. I remember just this morning I was thinking, oh no, you're practicing without a goal. Why are you doing this? And sort of forgetting at some point that there is no right and wrong. If you're drawing and you're doing it because it's fun, then keep it up. But I feel like the brain sometimes even starts making problems when there aren't any. So I feel like the key to drawing well and to getting better at is to listen to what you like doing. Sort of really find the tutorials that ring with your own style, because there's so much out there and there's so many different things. I feel like when I watch tutorials where people are working really cleanly, I really like that. But when I try to emulate it, it doesn't work with my style. I can always still draw something from it, but I shouldn't stress over it not working for me, because it maybe just might not be my style. And yes, not stressing over it really helps, and just sort of, okay, no, this doesn't kind of work for me. I'll look for what I like doing and what feels akin to your own way of working, because I feel that that's so important for when you're working to sort of get comfortable with it.
Yeah, you're totally right on that. Like sometimes I notice that sometimes I find some artists on the internet, and I'm so fascinated with what they are doing, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, how are they doing this? I want to learn this as well. And I find some video of them, how they work, and I watch it and I feel like, oh yeah, okay, I understand how you're doing that, but I have absolutely like no motivation to do it this way. Like it doesn't feel like my way to do things. And I'm just like, this is why I recommend watching, looking at different artists and how they work, because some workflows might just not be for you. Even if they work really well for somebody else, it's just not the thing that you would like doing. So it helps to look at different things and try out different things. Like maybe try another artist's workflow, and then you can maybe cherry pick some of the methods they are using or some techniques for your work, but like skip the rest. Like it's not about copying someone, it's about learning from what they are doing.
Yes, totally.
I think this also automatically leads to the style question. How to find your own style. Did each one of you had a clear idea when you first started? Had a clear goal of what your style that you want to achieve? Or was it something like you kind of realized on the way how your style develops itself?
I definitely kind of realized on the way, because I think like all of us, I've been drawing for all my life, and as a child, or even a little bit later, I didn't think a lot about in what style I wanted to draw. I just drew what I liked, and that was like comic books, stuff like that. And on that, I developed my style on the way, basically.
Yes, style isn't something you want you achieve. You have to go looking for. It's like your handwriting. You can maybe polish it a bit or move it in a direction, but that's all. It's you. Your style is you. And I think to get a style, you just have to draw a lot, because then you sort of draw automatically what you want to draw, and not, it's always a conglomerate of everything you love, and that will be your own unique style, because there's just like 100,000 of combinations of art which you can achieve, and from that you might even add your own unique stuff then, and which nobody has, because when you're copying somebody else, it will only be that copy of that sort of, if you're only copying one style. But if you copy lots of them, it's already something completely unique.
I actually want to add something to this topic as well, because I had like a little bit of a journey with my personal style. Like some of the people who are following me for many years now, they know that I started off my professional career as a manga artist. And I was a teenager back then when it started, and I made some manga books, and I was very proud of them, and I loved drawing manga and stuff. And then at some point I got introduced to the artist community back then. You have to remember it was 10 years ago or something, even longer. And all the like adult serious artists I met, they were looking down on manga style so badly. They were like, oh yeah, technically you draw very, very well, but you're drawing this manga trash, so we can take you seriously. And at some point I think I kind of internalized that, and I was really afraid that everything I draw looks too manga. And for many years I tried to get away from it and to make my style look, I don't know, Western. I have no idea. And I really think it kind of messed with my brain a little bit for many years, because I was so afraid that everything I do will look too manga to be taken seriously. And now I must say, I'm like, screw you. If I want to draw huge manga eyes, I will do that. And nobody can tell me what to like and not. So you should be very careful of what styles are popular right now and what styles people say are bad or good right now, because there are talks like that in the internet sometimes, like what style is better than another. And first of all, it changes with time, like trends change, so you should not try running after them. And secondly, really don't let somebody else ruin what you love. Like if you love some style, then do it, and try to find other influences that you love as well, and then it will mix into your own style, which will not look like 100% manga anymore, for example, for me, because now I have those different influences. But I kind of wish I hadn't listened back then, that
you might have had a different style today if you hadn't.
Yeah, probably, yes. I mean, I still wanted to explore different styles, but that's the thing that I kind of felt like my current style is bad and I shouldn't be using the same elements. It kind of, I don't know, it destroys a little bit of fun in your work. So
totally,
yes, exploring, yes, and growing as well. And you can, of course, change your style over years. It will change automatically, but not because you are afraid that nobody likes your style or something. I feel it's a very negative way to go about your own art.
I have a similar experience. Not that I changed my style for it, but when I was applying for university, I had lots of very manga influenced art back then. And they were very snotty about it. Very like, no, this, you'll have trouble with this here at the art school. And then I was like, I'm not going here. I'm going to a school where people aren't as snobby, because there's nothing which I hate more than snobbiness. Yes. So I went to a graphic design school rather than fine art, because I felt like, okay, if this is what fine art is like, I don't want to go here. Might have been it was just one person telling me, but still, they were like saying, okay, this won't find much. Yes, you won't have it easy here with this.
I think the moral of the story is gatekeeping is bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also I feel like it's also kind of culturally wrong, because mostly in those institutions like universities and so on, like the most professors are like kind of older white dudes, and they get to tell you that another country's culture of doing art is wrong. I feel it's kind of backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, universities are a little bit difficult when it comes to, not only when it comes to manga, but I had a very similar experience also with like my comic style when I went to university. And it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to get those thoughts out of your head. And I think right now, with all those social media and Instagram and all those other platforms, you can actually draw whatever you want. As long as you really want to draw it, you will get better and you will find an audience for this.
Yeah, but you also have to be a little bit careful because you also see that some styles are more popular on social media than others, and then it's you kind of get tempted to copy the popular style, like for example Loy's work or something like that, because she's amazing and she's really popular, so you think like, oh, maybe I have to paint like her to be successful or something like that. So yeah, always be careful, but be inspired.
Yeah, I think that just sort of having social media influence your art is something you should in general look out for, because there's you very quickly, I mean, it's not only the style, it also can be the motifs you draw. I mean, it's only human to sort of have somebody like this kind of image more, and then you drawing more of it because that's the stuff people like. If it is what you want to draw, that's fine. But I feel like I sometimes do the opposite and want to draw exactly. No, I don't want to. If you people make me want to, you people want me to draw this, then I'm not drawing it, because I don't want to be a slave of social media in that case. I know there was like one person's like, oh, you are not drawing your son anymore. I nearly unfollowed you, but then you posted a drawing of your son, and I was like, oh, great. Now I don't want to draw my son, but I want to draw him. But you're making me. But then it's just the moral is just draw what you want and don't listen to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, like last year, I think sometime in December, I actually took a break from social media for like 3 months or so. And since then, I'm basically not just sketching stuff. And when there's things that I like to share, I share, but I'm not like putting stuff down anymore with the thought of having to produce something for social media, kind of. Like that is a trap that I fell into, that I only did things that I thought, oh yeah, I can post this later and this is gonna be popular or something. Or like I wouldn't draw for fun that much anymore.
Yeah, that's true. No one can predict what's popular on Instagram right now, because the algorithm is totally messed up.
Yeah, for me it also, people probably noticed that I have been kind of silent on social media recently because I got really tired of it. It kind of, also because I was really busy with client work and felt like, oh, I don't have like any time or energy left for my own project. So I also don't have any time or energy left to post something on Instagram because I don't have any new content for that. And I kind of just, I don't know, just logged off and was like, oh, that's so freeing to just not think about it, because when you're scrolling, you're already thinking about it, like, I should post something. But, yeah, people are forgetting about me. But at some point when I just stopped logging into Instagram, I kind of forgot that there are people and I didn't care anymore if they forget me or not. I was just like, I don't know those people at all, so it doesn't really matter. Like, of course, I love some of my followers, the ones who actually like who I noticed because they commented something and so on, and some of them are really great artists who I love to watch their work as well. But like this, like some of the people on Instagram, you never interact with them. You don't know if they actually exist or not. So it's like it's kind of weird that it's pressuring you so much to deliver something.
Yeah, totally.
And in that sense, actually, it's not the people who are following you when you are giving social media a break, but it's actually the algorithm that is forgetting you.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think it did. It kind of ignores me right now. Like every time I post something right now after the break, it's like, I don't know, some people react, but I feel like, okay, Instagram hates me now, whatever. But it's still, I don't know. I don't miss it that much right now. I feel like I'm doing fine without it as well.
But from your own industries and from your own work, do you see any other platforms that are good areas for artists to feature their artwork? Like, we all know the power of Instagram for artists, but also we are noticing more and more about Twitter and the craze around TikTok and other platforms. Have you experimented with other platforms, or is Instagram is where it felt home?
I hear so many good things about TikTok, but I also feel a little bit like an internet grandma, and I'm a bit afraid to actually dive into it. But I kind of want to try it at some point. It just feels like it's even more pressure than Instagram, because everything has to be moving, and creating content that is moving is even more work.
There is another platform which I've been using recently, that's Subs TV. That's a German like Instagram account, social media platform, and it is very similar, but without the algorithm stuff, and I really like that. But then it's still so new that there's not many people there, so that it still doesn't feel very very lived in. I think that's a problem. Social media has to be very lived in. I mean, obviously Twitter and everything, there's lots of followers there, so that might make more sense, but I never understood Twitter, to be honest. But I'm trying to sort of find other platforms where it's more like Instagram, but just without the algorithm pressure.
I'm sorry.
I was surprised if it's me.
I've also started posting on DeviantArt again, because I sort of remembered liking that and having not as much pressure there. But I don't know, Instagram still feels like the main thing to me. I don't know.
I opened Instagram, DeviantArt a few times again also, and I kind of like it. Like, they did a lot of cool stuff, but I think the problem for DeviantArt is that there's only artists there. Like, you don't find any people who actually like want to buy things off of you, or want to like you don't find clients or anything. Like,
but then again,
it's like a nice community. I love being there, and it's so like everyone's so nice to each other, and everyone is so helpful. But it's like, it's just like being under artists with artists. It's nice. I love it. But
I feel like the most buyers of artist stuff are artists. Like, I don't know if we are even like, if any of the prints that I have sold are going to anybody who's not an artist. Probably if I draw sexy pinups, it has a little bit more of like also the horny people who are buying those. But
I kind of like on DeviantArt, I never sold anything. Like, I got a few requests, but it never kind of worked out in the end. Like, on Instagram, it happens more often, I think. I don't know why, really, because most of them are artists in the end. That's true.
Yeah, I really would like to know. Maybe I should start a poll on Instagram. How many people of my followers are actually artists? Because that would be really interesting to know. Because that's nothing that Instagram tracks. You only see males and females, but you don't know what kind of people are following you. So.
Are you actually artists?
You're not allowed to follow me if you're not an artist.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, but I think it's really interesting, but because I think it depends also on the art you are posting, because if you do like any type of like relatable comics about your life and your son and so on, probably you also have people who have like the same life experiences also enjoying them. A little bit like I don't know, like comics like Sarah Scribbles also have a lot of fans who are non-artists because they are like relatable, #relatable. But I don't know, for like illustrations and especially like art tutorials, probably only interesting to other artists?
I don't know. I have the feeling that a lot of people like to watch artists work, like kind of the Bob Ross effect. And I would say like we're watching, like my husband started that, but I'm watching it as well. Like we started watching woodworking on YouTube, and we have like a few channels that we watch, and boat building. Like it's just another thing. Like a guy building a boat, like a skiff from hand with wood and all that stuff. And it's like it's something that I would never do. Like I've never even like been like actively drove a boat anywhere, but it's like it's kind of relaxing. And I have the feeling that a lot of people might watch other people draw because it's just nice, kind of like to sit and be entertained by someone drawing.
I completely agree with watching the woodworking YouTube channels and also restoration YouTube channels.
Oh yeah.
To me, it's the whole watching experience is so enjoyable, but at the same time, knowing that it's a work that I'm not doing, it's also.
That's true.
We have a nice question, which is addressing a topic we discussed about the art blocks and everything. And when you are working a personal project or for a client project, and you hit a wall in that project, and you kind of don't want to work on it anymore, or you have some issues with the work. How do you overcome that wall? Are you bulldoze your way, or do you have tricks to hacking yourself?
Think about this one.
Yeah, that's a good question, actually.
I think I usually try to take a break, and then in the end, I just like do it last minute. Like when I have enough pressure, I kind of work good under pressure. So if I have a deadline and I'm having an art block, like let's say I have to deliver by Saturday, and I on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday it doesn't work. Like by Thursday, I will start to feel really itchy. And it's like, oh my God, it's getting close to the deadline. I really have to start, and then probably I've got to do it Friday, maybe, or Saturday, and then deliver it like 5 minutes late. It's like, oh yeah, I almost forgot to post this. Ha ha ha! Man, it was done so long ago. Yeah, so that is off my approach. I don't think that's the best one.
Yeah,
I commend it.
I think I'm being a bad role model here, but yeah, pressure works for some reason. I think there are some people who thrive under pressure, or at least it helps. I think like a little bit of panic helps turn some areas of my brain off that are overthinking. Like when you have enough time left and you are in kind of an art blocky situation, then your brain tends to over analyze everything. Like, what do I want to do on this project? This idea is not good enough. I should think a little bit more until it's perfect. But once the deadline is close enough and you're like, okay, I don't have the luxury anymore to think about all of those possibilities. I will just go with this idea and finish it now. So sometimes it helps, but it's also really bad to rely on it because it can bite you in the ass sometimes. So it's not a viable method, but sometimes it helps.
I know I have had it's not quite the same, but I was working on a project where I was feeling very unhappy and not feeling that I was delivering the right kind of work, because I think that's also something which you often have, that you're not actually sure if the client is, if you're really meeting what the client expects. And in that case, I would just say, before you stress over it and sort of go in your head, just call the client and talk to them again about what it really is they want. Just sort of clarify the vision, because I think that really helps. And then you might find that you're actually doing something or thinking you're doing something that way, but then it turns out that they're actually not looking for that complicated thing you're thinking you have to doing. Okay, this is very theoretical, but sometimes it can really help to just sort of, okay, I'm not feeling this. Just let's restate the vision. Let's talk about that exactly so that you know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Can we lock the layers here?
sorry, sometimes I wanted to just add, sometimes it helps to lower your own expectation a little bit, because we all as artists tend to be a little bit too perfectionistic, and sometimes our clients are not as perfectionistic as us. Like they expect a pretty picture and we are thinking some great work of art, you know? And sometimes it helps to just turn off this expectation and remember, especially for client work, like for my own work, I have more high artistic expectation, but for client work, I sometimes remind myself, okay, this is just for some phone ad for some crappy game, which I actually don't care about. And it just has to look pretty and have a lot of nice colors in it. And then I just finish it. So that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes I just send the picture just to get some feedback instead of reworking it without knowing if that's even necessary or what the client wants. So sometimes you just have to get it out and just talk about it.
By the way, some of our viewers have noticed that you are all actually working on the same canvas, which is the magic of Magma Studio, which allows artists to work on a shared canvas in real time. So we highly encourage our audience, our viewers, to go check it out after we are done. It's really fun. It's such a cool software, and yeah, it allows us to have such sessions similar to Let's Play.
Yeah, just let's draw.
Yeah, also it's really fun. We have used it several times during this whole pandemic time, because we don't see each other anymore almost ever, and it helps to just hang out in Discord, for example, and have a little canvas open and just draw silly things on it. Like it's just to feel like we are doing something together. It doesn't have to be like an amazing work of art in the end.
I really liked when we did Bohemian Rhapsody. We just sort of we suggested a topic. It was like, oh, I wonder if we can draw Bohemian Rhapsody, and then everybody just sort of drawing bits of pieces of that song, and then we could post it. And can you guess what we were drawing? And people guessed it.
That's a great idea, by the way. We can use that for our next Sunday drawing chat and draw session.
Totally. You can, if you want, you can give us the song or the topic, and we will just draw it, and then we can have people guessing what it was in the end.
Yeah, or maybe people can suggest topics for our next session if people want to.
Your chance.
We will get hundreds of song recommendations.
Well, let's stick with the classics or something that everybody knows.
don't suggest this WAP song.
Oh yes, no. That might be tricky to stream. But I also, Simone mentioned that like watching your favorite movie helps sometimes to get over the art blocks and things like that. What are your go-to selections of series, shows, I don't know, playlists, movies that you run to in both ways, when you're in a creative block and also when you're in a creative high?
I would like to start with like really all Ghibli movies get me into wanting to create art always.
Yes.
And music-wise, I go into my nostalgia era, where it's like so complete, like I go into the 90s or so and listen to all the stuff where when I really still was more passionate about music than I am today. I don't know if everybody's like that, but I feel like I used to really, really listen to music back then, and now it's just like Spotify doing something and I'm listening to something. But then when I really want to focus in, it's like, okay, let me sing along with these songs, and then I'm really feeling it.
Yeah, nothing has more feeling in it than, I don't know, Crawling by Linkin Park. Like,
yes, I just did that yesterday.
I had no stronger feelings for music since then. Yeah, retro music helps a lot. Like, just going back to nostalgia, and I don't know, thinking about movies. I also think like sometimes watching old movies like Indiana Jones and stuff, like it just cheers me up. Or Pirates of the Caribbean just always cheers me up.
I feel like you've never been so passionate about stuff like in your teens or maybe 20s. I don't know. I mean, I'm talking now, revealing that we're really old. I mean, I am anyway. But
we all are.
I feel like it's getting harder to get me really passionate about something. And sometimes you find a show or something where you're like, oh my God, I've had this feeling since I was 15 about something, because I really sometimes crave this passion for like a comic or something. I remember carrying a certain comic book I loved with me everywhere and looking at it all the time. It was like Sky Doll for me and Black Sad. I just so loved these comics to bits. And and I want that feeling back.
Yeah, me too. Also to be a fangirl of something.
And I think that might be an age thing.
Yeah.
So treasure it while you can, folks.
You young people, you youngsters, enjoy it while you can. You sound so old now.
Yes, I wanted to.
But it's okay. I feel like also like getting older also has its perks.
Totally. I'm less stressed about stuff.
Yeah.
I say that, and then there's the pandemic, which really stresses us. But aside from pandemics, I feel.
But how stressed would you have been 10 years ago? Like.
Yeah. Well, then maybe.
I also feel like with age you develop a better like stress filter, like what you stress about. Because when I was younger, I was stressing about such unimportant things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, what some dude thinks about me or something. Oh. Such a waste of time.
Yep. What anybody thinks about you.
Yeah.
Waste of time. But yourself. All the people that count.
Yeah.
Me.
What Contraxia thinks, that's the one.
Oh gosh.
We are almost done with our time, and I see the artwork is also getting into its final stage, and it looks so cool.
Yeah, we actually didn't even explain our idea beforehand, right? So our plan was to do like some kind of profile picture for all of us for those kind of sessions, because we will do more of those, right?
Yes, absolutely. Perfect.
Nice way of introducing it. Smooth.
Because we're coming back, right? You can't cast.
There will definitely be more of us being here together, chatting and creating super cool art.
Yay.
Hurrah!
I can change to the cat cam a little bit. You can see
the cat camera
underneath my table here.
But then you have to.
They're fighting.
They're black blobs.
Yeah, I have black cats. They are really bad for social media, but here I am working, and here the fun is going on.
We just adopted a black cat too, and they are really bad for social media. If you want to take a photo and share, it's like an ink blot on the photo.
But I always felt so funny because you just see the eyes.
Yeah. What's the name of your black cat?
Meze. Which is it's like the Turkish tapas or the Greek meze.
So I think I know those.
Yes, they are delicious.
Are they black? Or is it just the cat?
Depending on the ingredients. But yeah, when we first saw her photo before adapting her, we were just talking about it with my partner, and she's so cute and small and yummy. So we came up with the idea on the spot.
That's so cute.
So obviously, no live stream is done without talking about cats.
Yeah, that's important. We don't have any cats. I have just little weird sea creatures which you put in salt water because we wanted to show them to our son, but he doesn't really find much interest in them. But I find them soothing. They move in a funny little way, and then they're all dying. But then the one that died last just spurned a couple of eggs again, and then there's 5 of them, or 7, no, 5, 6 little new creatures. So I'm rooting for them, and I'm watching them every day. I'm the only one interested in them.
Do they have names, or are they dying too fast to have names?
It died a lot, but one of them was called Schnellerer, which means the quicker one. And
the Remus gave the name.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But only like 1 or 2 had names, and I forgot the others. I know that I did get some names, but I forgot them again. Sorry.
Are we putting color on this one, or are we just leaving it black and white and a little bit of red in Olga's hair?
Let's decide right now. I don't know. We have to discuss it afterwards, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, not now, but maybe later. Yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah, we'll finish it up. We'll see what we can do with it.
Absolutely. It will be the big surprise for the next session to reveal the final version of this poster.
Yeah. You will see the final version, and you can also make suggestions on our topics, what to draw next. So are there any last questions we can answer
checking,
last minute?
Torsten just accurately announced that now this is a cat video and not an art stream.
Next time, bring your cat. Everybody.
Let's direct the camera at our cats, so it will be like that. Love your video.
The video will get more popular. We know it's work on the internet.
Okay.
Except of course black cats, which are really bad to photograph.
So I think we are. I mean, time-wise, we are done. And thank you so much for staying with us with this extra time in which we had some technical issues. Thank you, you four, and also our viewers for your patience, for sticking to us and being in the stream until this last moment. You're also amazing. And now let me go back to our closing statements, which will obviously include our last advertising block as well. Well, yeah, thank you all heaps. And to reminder to all of you who are watching us, please don't forget to check our e-store. We have new software offers. Check out our pro product offers. Cool software is coming with Wacom Pro products, and as well as the discounts on our refurbished and bundled products. So this was Wacom and Sunday Sketching Collective Chat and Draw, and we will be back next month. So keep your eyes on our social media at Wacom, and don't forget to follow Sunday Sketching Collective on Instagram at Sunday Sketching Collective. Thank you so much, all of you, Olga, Jenny, Irina, Simone. It was so much fun, as always. It's always so lovely to have you all to chat with you. And for all of you who are watching, stay safe, stay sane, and stay creative. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.